more intentional with your home and your lifestyle is one of the easiest ways to feel more fulfilled with your everyday life. Living intentionally allows you to build healthier habits and have a general sense of calm and peace in your lifestyle. It's a mindset to build routines that are actually going to nourish you and provide healing energy throughout your home. A lot of people don't consider this, but your environment is actually a huge support system in your life. So if you're looking to become more intentional in your lifestyle, I highly recommend incorporating your home in the process. So here are my top tips to add more intention in your home and overall lifestyle. One of the best ways to become more intentional in your home is actually slowing down. For years, I had a single-serve coffee machine that used disposable pods. This was a really quick and efficient way to make my morning coffee. However, I found it to be really conducive to a rushed lifestyle where if I slept in, I could just throw in a coffee pod and head out the door to work. And I like to wake up early to actually enjoy the morning, watch the sunrise, meditate, and just spend a little bit of time for myself, which is why I started my slow coffee routine. I now have a pour over coffee system where I actually have to boil the water on the stove before I pour it over and brew the coffee. And I also got a milk frother and steamer so I can enjoy a nice hot latte. This coffee routine allows me to be very intentional my first moments after waking up and keeps me from scrolling on my phone first thing. In the summer, I like to open my windows and listen to the birds chirping while I do this routine. Most of the time, this is the highlight of my day where I just simply get to be and enjoy my first cup of coffee in the day. Other types of slow morning routines I would recommend is keeping your phone in a separate room. When you sleep with your phone beside your bed, it's really easy to just simply wake up and start scrolling social media, which again is not conducive if you're trying to slow down and be more intentional. I hands down recommend getting an alarm clock. I personally have a sunrise alarm clock that wakes you up with a simulated sunrise. Most mornings I wake up to the light first and I turn off the actual alarm. It's just such a nicer way of waking up than immediately waking up and clicking the snooze button multiple times before rolling out of bed and stumbling to work. And if you're someone who has a hard time waking up in the mornings because you like to stay up late, I definitely would recommend setting a bedtime timer. This way you're making sure you're getting as many hours to sleep throughout the night as you possibly can, and you're not waking up stressed and rushed. Another way to feel organized and put together first thing in the morning is by making your bed. I know this is a top tip that everybody recommends, but as somebody who has always done this throughout their entire life, it's one of those things when I come home from work, seeing my bed made just brings me so much joy and fulfillment. And if you're trying to slow down and bring a sense of peace and calm into your life, I highly recommend starting a meditation routine as well. Committing to a nightly or a morning meditation routine allows your first few minutes or your last few minutes of your day to be nice, peaceful, and calm. Incorporating meditation into my routine honestly has had one of the most profound impacts and brought so much meaning into my life. As somebody with tons of ideas and cluttered thoughts running around in my brain, it really is that moment for me to sit down, take everything out of my mind, and just allow myself to be present in the moment. If you've tried meditation and you don't love it, there's also lots of different ways to be present in the current moment, like listening to music, reading a book, or even watching something motivational or peaceful on YouTube. A lot of the times our homes lack intention because we aren't creating any spaces for it in our homes. Creating pockets of intention in your home is going to allow you to feel like you're achieving small wins throughout the week. For instance, I love to thrift vases and I love to incorporate fresh flowers throughout my home to showcase these pieces and also again have that feeling of luxury throughout my home. I'm also a huge Caroline Winkler fan, and I recently saw a video where she cut up fresh oranges and lemons to incorporate in a water jug throughout the day. Since seeing that video, I have started incorporating this into my own routine. It's just a nice way to create a peaceful feeling in your space. It really does give you that feeling of a spa. And as somebody who's trying to drink more water throughout the day, I just think this is the fanciest way of doing it. Another great pocket of intention to incorporate in your home is wall shelves or bookshelves. This can allow you to display all of your favorite books or books that you haven't read yet, and it keeps them top of mind so they're readily accessible when you want to read them. It's also a nice way to display personal knickknacks and other fun accessories that make you feel comfortable in your home. I also love to decorate with candlesticks. Having them out in the open actually inspires me to light them throughout the week and make my home feel special even on a mundane afternoon. And for example, if you are trying to meditate more, creating a nice little relaxation nook is the perfect way to create space for this intention. I also love to display fresh fruits and vegetables on my counter. This way, when I walk into my kitchen, it feels bright, colorful, and lively. And if you're into feng shui, this is a great way to incorporate positive qi into your home. I love a good vignette, so in places next to my sinks, I love to create a tray moment for my hand soap or my dish soap. This way things look more put together when they're all grouped nicely, and it just feels more special than just having the bottle of soap on the counter. Personally, I don't practice this, but I'm so envious of people who have a bathroom that allows them to have individual hand towels for when guests come over. I just think this is such a nice touch when you're having multiple people in your space. They don't all have to use the same hand towel to dry their hands, and again, it provides that feeling of luxury. And if you're somebody who likes to host a lot, a very thoughtful way of decorating is by having a bar cart out where your guests can serve themselves, or by having your games displayed out in the open so guests can pick and choose the entertainment for the evening. When adding more intention into your home, a great place to consider is your nightstands. Because this area is the first thing you see when you wake up and the last thing you see when you go to bed, it's important to keep it clutter-free and display items that inspire you or bring you comfort. Personally, I don't subscribe to discipline or motivationary practices anymore. I used to be somebody who would wake up every morning and watch a motivational video or look at motivational quotes on my phone, but it got to a point where I felt like I was bullying myself into making better decisions. Instead, I shifted my focus more along the lines of devotion towards the life that I'm trying to live. And instead of forcing myself to feel motivated throughout the day, I try instead to instill meaning into my routine. This way, even the smallest of mundane tasks feels like an act of self-care towards the life I'm trying to live. For instance, because I do have 3 pets, my home does get pretty dirty throughout the week. Because of this, instead of just cleaning once on the weekends, I also clean a second time throughout the week, usually on a Wednesday or a Thursday. These 2 cleans allow me to live in a home that's dust-free, fur-free, where I wash my bedding twice a week as well as my towels. Truthfully, this does feel like a lot of work, but I honestly feel as though it's an act of self-care because I deserve to live in an environment that's clean. And I love my animals to death, and I'm obviously never getting rid of them, but these are the steps that I take to cohabitate with them in harmony. And because I'm somebody who enjoys natural light in my home and having all of my blinds open, I try when I'm outside doing any of my yard work to also spray them down and make sure they're clean so I can enjoy a beautiful view when I look out my windows throughout the day. And to keep myself from scrolling social media right before bed, I actually like to do a 15-minute tidy to make sure everything is clean for my morning routine the next day. Incorporating a skincare routine has also helped me be more intentional in my evenings. It's a quick 5-minute routine that really allows me to take a moment for myself and make sure that my skin is well protected and moisturized for the next day. Another lifestyle routine that has added so much meaning into my life is my meal planning. Obviously, with the cost of living and the cost of groceries, I hate spending money and then watching my produce go bad in the fridge. I find when I take the time to actually plan out my meals for the week, do the grocery shop, and then soak all of my fruits and vegetables in an apple cider vinegar wash, I actually end up using what I purchase, and there's less food waste to anything rotting in the fridge because I do that apple cider vinegar wash. This process has also made me learn the correct and proper ways to store produce in the fridge, and because it's so aesthetically pleasing, I find myself reaching for healthier foods to snack on because they're easily accessible, and when they look good and they're displayed nicely, I actually want to eat them. Our homes are an environment where they're constantly being filled with stuff. So if you look around your home and you can visibly see mass amounts of clutter, I would make this your #1 priority if you're trying to become more intentional in your home and lifestyle. Clutter really does contribute to a lot of stress in our lives, and it can be attributed to emotional baggage we're holding on to in our homes. So a great exercise for releasing and letting go of what's no longer serving you is by clearing out clutter. Personally, I recommend decluttering your home at least once a week, especially if it's really bad. But if you can't commit that often, I highly would recommend doing it around a full moon. The energies of a full moon is releasing and letting go. So by connecting with this energy, it'll give you that boost to finally let go of those things you've been holding on to in your home. and there's a full moon about once a month. So I find this is a nice time frame to work with, so you can gather up things throughout the month and then donate them every full moon. And removing visual clutter doesn't mean you have to donate all the things you find lying around. One of the best solutions is just getting baskets throughout your home, whether it's for dog toys, kids toys, or any other supplies you need handy throughout the day. You can just quickly toss things into a basket and immediately feel organized. And though open storage systems can sometimes feel like they're adding to visual clutter, I personally find that this can help you condense what you have so you're only displaying items that look nice. For instance, when I switched to open storage in my bathroom, it really forced me to do a deep dive on all of the products I had been holding onto for so many years. It turned out that a lot of the makeup I was hoarding for so many years had actually expired, or it was in colors that really just didn't suit my current style. I also find myself more intentionally purchasing products that are going to look nice on my shelf, and they feel more luxurious and appealing to use throughout my routine. A common pitfall that lots of people fall into is decorating their home once and then never touching anything for the next 10 years. Our home should grow and evolve with our lifestyle, so it's always good to be assessing what you have for home decor and what pieces just don't fit with your lifestyle anymore. For instance, the idea of decorating according to how your home is laid out versus the way you should decorate according to your lifestyle. So just because you've got 3 guest bedrooms doesn't mean they all have to be dedicated bedrooms. A lot of the time, a guest room is only going to be once or twice a year, when if that space was dedicated to an exercise zone or a home office, you would get daily use out of it. And if you've got a smaller space, you want to find pieces that are going to allow for flexibility of your lifestyle. That way your home can meet many different needs. Like incorporating a Murphy bed in your home office so that it can be converted into a sleeping area if you do have any guests come over. Or for my husband and I, we love to watch movies on the couch together on the weekends. So instead of a coffee table, we opted for a large ottoman that can be combined with our couch to create one big movie watching area. It's also important to consider the hobbies and activities you enjoy doing and to incorporate space for them in your home. If you love to paint but feel like you just don't have the time to always set it up and take it down, then dedicating a corner of a room or a small area of your home to this hobby, it makes it easy to enjoy that activity anytime you want to sit down and do it. And at the same time, we want to be mindful of old hobbies and activities that we don't do anymore and clearing those items out of our space to make way for the things that we actually enjoy to do in our space. When looking to become more intentional in your home decor, a huge factor is color. I see so many people who live in the classic gray and white box, and they feel like they're unable to add any life or character to their space when they're trapped in this gloomy color scheme. And I feel the same way with this whole beige girl aesthetic online. It gives you that feeling that you're organized or that you've got that natural feel throughout your space, but in reality, it lacks life, it lacks color, and it lacks personality. So if you live in a very neutral home, my #1 recommendation would be adding color somewhere in your home decor. For instance, if you have a ton of white and gray in your space, I recommend adding a warm infusion of wood in a piece of furniture. A walnut dining table, side chairs, or even a bookshelf is a great way to cut all of the neutrals in the space and combat those cooler shades. Now, on the other hand, some people incorporate too much color in their space and they feel overstimulated from all of the different shades. So to find a nice balance, I always recommend the 60-30-10 rule. As a designer, I usually use this rule by picking one neutral shade for the 60%. From there, I pick a secondary tone as the 30%, and then I select an accent shade for the remaining 10% of the space. This is honestly my golden rule for any design dilemma throughout your home. So if you want to learn more about the 60-30-10 rule, check out the description of this video for a digital download. When it comes to what colors to add to your space, you can never go wrong with adding earth tones. These are such calming shades that always work well together, and they aren't going to feel too saturated throughout your home. Various colors have ways of evoking different emotions throughout your space. For instance, green evokes feelings of freshness, prosperity, and growth. And orange is creative, optimistic, and joyful. And if you want to learn more about color theory, check out the description below for a link to that digital download as well. Because your home is a major support center in your life, it's really important that you feel joyful and happy in your environment. A great way to infuse joy throughout your space is by adding more indoor plants. Not only do they purify the air in your space, but they are scientifically proven to boost your mood. Personally, I'm a huge fan of thrifting and I love finding different pottery pieces. So a playful element I incorporate in my home is mix match pottery dishes. Just such a fun way to liven up your dishes and your cupboards instead of the same matching set. Displaying lots of fun artwork or creating gallery walls of people you love or travels that you've taken are also a fun way to feel more connected and happy in your space. I also love to display family heirlooms or hand-me-down furniture I've received over the years to feel that sense of connection to my home and where I come from. And if you want to feel more joyful in your space, a great place to look is actually outside. Creating an environment in your backyard or on your patio allows you to step outside into nature, breathe in some fresh air, and just take in the sunshine. Personally, I'm not a big fan of seasonal decor, but I do know it brings a lot of joy to people with the changing of each new season and bringing in new pieces to incorporate in their home. Because your front door is the first thing you see when you enter your home, I definitely recommend giving this area a clean and an update periodically throughout the year. Adding some fresh flowers, a potted plant, or a doormat are great ways to liven up this area. And it's important to keep in mind that comparison is the thief of joy. So one of the best ways to feel happier in your space is to stop comparing what you have to what you see on social media or in other people's homes. When you actually take time to be grateful for what you have and enjoy the space you currently live in, it's such a freeing experience and it relieves any of that stress of not having enough. When your home actually aligns with who you are and what you want out of life, you're going to feel so much better supported and fulfilled in your space. Aligning your intentions with your environment is one of the best ways to actually reach your goals. It sets up daily routines and rituals that actually keep you on track to achieve what you want out of life. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment what content you want to see in my next videos.